He was 41 years old before he understood why he kept failing. Not failing in the obvious ways. From the outside, his life looked functional. He held a job, he maintained relationships. He moved through the world with enough competence that nobody looking in would have flagged anything as wrong. But from the inside, there was a pattern he could not break. Every time something good began to build, a promising relationship, a career opportunity, a period of genuine momentum, something in him would find a way to dismantle it. Not dramatically, not consciously, just quietly, reliably, with a precision that was almost surgical. He would do the thing that ensured the good thing didn't last. He had been to therapy. He understood, intellectually, where the pattern came from. He could trace it back to specific experiences, specific messages he had absorbed in childhood about whether people like him were allowed to have good things. He could articulate the belief system with real clarity. He just couldn't change it. Because understanding something with your conscious mind and changing the part of you that actually runs your behavior are two entirely different operations. He discovered self-hypnosis almost by accident. He was skeptical, genuinely reasonably skeptical in the way that most intelligent people are when something sounds too simple to be real. He tried it anyway, with the modest expectation that it would probably do nothing. Something shifted. Not immediately, not dramatically, but over the following weeks, he noticed something different happening in the moments that had previously triggered the self-sabotage. A space appeared where there had been no space before. A pause between the old pattern firing and the behavior following automatically. And in that pause, for the first time, there was room to choose differently. Within 6 months, things in his life that had never been allowed to last began to last. He hadn't changed what he knew. He had changed what he believed at a level below knowing. He had reached the part of his mind that runs the show, not the conscious, reasoning, articulate part that therapy and books and podcasts speak to, but the deeper part, the part that was written before he had language for any of it. And he had, carefully and deliberately, begun to rewrite it. That is what this is about. What you're about to hear is not a collection of motivational ideas. It is a precise, science-grounded, practically applicable guide to one of the most powerful tools available for genuine psychological change. 7 steps, explained fully, so you understand not just what to do, but why it works. And then, at the end, a complete guided session you can use immediately. By the time this is over, you won't just know about self-hypnosis, you'll have experienced it. And something in you, something that has been waiting a long time for the right conversation, will have begun to shift. Let's start at the beginning, the very beginning. What the subconscious mind actually is. Before we talk about how to reprogram it, we need to be honest about what it is, because most people have a vague, slightly mystical idea of the subconscious that doesn't serve them particularly well. The subconscious mind is not mysterious. It is not a hidden chamber of dark secrets. It is, in the most practical terms, your automated operating system. Think about everything your brain manages without your conscious involvement right now. Your heart rate, your breathing, the micro-adjustments your body makes to keep you upright, the filtering of the thousands of sensory inputs arriving every second, deciding which ones deserve conscious attention and discarding the rest. The retrieval of language, memory, and learned skills without any deliberate effort on your part. All of this is the subconscious at work, and it extends far beyond the purely physiological. The subconscious also manages your emotional responses, your behavioral patterns, your instinctive reactions to people and situations, your sense of what you deserve and what is possible for you, and the deep, often pre-verbal beliefs about yourself and the world that were established in your earliest years and have been running quietly ever since. Neuroscientists estimate that approximately 95% of brain activity occurs below conscious awareness. 95%, which means the part of your mind you are most familiar with, the part that reads these words, makes deliberate decisions, and holds conscious intentions, accounts for roughly 5% of what is actually running your life. The subconscious is not the small part. It is almost all of it. And here is what makes this matter so much for anyone dealing with patterns they cannot seem to break through willpower or understanding alone. The subconscious does not respond to logic. It does not update itself because you have understood something intellectually. It was not written in language, and it does not rewrite in language. It was written in experience, in repetition, in emotion, in the accumulated data of everything that happened to you before your conscious mind was fully developed enough to evaluate it. To rewrite it, you need to speak its language, and that is precisely what self-hypnosis allows you to do. What self-hypnosis actually is and what it isn't. Let's address the skepticism directly, because it is reasonable and it deserves a real answer. Self-hypnosis is not what you've seen on television. Nobody is going to make you cluck like a chicken. Nobody loses control. Nobody enters a state of unconsciousness. Nobody surrenders their will to an external force. What actually happens in hypnosis, self-directed or otherwise, is this. The conscious, analytical, critical mind is temporarily quieted, not eliminated, not bypassed against your will. Voluntarily, deliberately, through specific techniques, the critical filter that normally stands between incoming information and the subconscious is relaxed. And in that state of relaxed receptivity, carefully chosen suggestions, beliefs, images, feelings can reach the subconscious directly, bypassing the critical faculty that would normally evaluate, question, and reject them. This state is not exotic. You have been in it many times. The moments just before sleep and just after waking, the hypnagogic and hypnopompic states, are neurologically identical to the hypnotic state. The absorbed focus of deep creative work where time disappears and the inner critic goes quiet. The particular quality of attention you have while watching something that completely captures you. These are all natural trance states. Self-hypnosis is simply the deliberate, intentional use of a state your brain already knows how to enter. The neuroscience is clear and documented. During hypnotic states, activity in the default mode network, the brain's self-referential, analytical, inner critic system, decreases measurably. The prefrontal cortex, which filters and evaluates incoming information, becomes less dominant. And the communication between the conscious and subconscious layers of the brain changes in ways that increase the subconscious mind's receptivity to new programming. This is not metaphysics. This is measurable neurology. And it is available to you right now as a learnable skill. Now, the 7 steps. Step 1. Intention setting. Every self-hypnosis session begins before the hypnosis itself with the precise, clear identification of what you are seeking to change. This step is more important than most people realize, and it is where most casual attempts at self-hypnosis go wrong. Vague intentions produce vague results. Going into a self-hypnosis session with the general intention of feeling better or being more confident is like giving a master architect the instruction to build you something nice. The skill is available, the direction is insufficient. What the subconscious responds to is specific, emotionally vivid present tense programming, not "I want to be more confident," which is future-focused and implies a current deficit, but "I am someone who trusts themselves. I move through the world from a foundation of quiet self-assurance. My worth is not conditional on anyone's approval." The difference matters neurologically. The subconscious does not process hypothetical future states effectively. It processes present tense emotional reality. So your intention needs to be written, literally written on paper, as if the change has already occurred, as a statement of current truth rather than future aspiration. Before any session, take time to identify the specific limiting belief you are working with. Not the behavior you want to change, the belief underneath it. The behavior is always downstream of the belief. Find the belief, write its opposite in present tense emotionally resonant language. That is your intention. That is the new programming you are preparing to install. Step 2. Environment preparation. The subconscious mind is exquisitely sensitive to environmental signals. It takes its cues about whether it is safe to relax, safe to open, safe to receive from everything surrounding you. Sound, light, temperature, physical comfort, the presence or absence of potential interruption. This is not about creating a perfect, elaborate ritual. It is about removing the signals that keep the conscious, analytical mind on guard. A quiet space where you will not be interrupted for at least 20 minutes. A comfortable position, seated or lying down, as long as you can remain awake. If you tend to fall asleep lying down, sit up. Hypnosis requires the particular state of relaxed wakefulness, not sleep. Dim lighting or darkness if that feels more comfortable. Temperature that allows your body to be at ease. If you choose to play background sound, choose something without rhythm complex enough to engage the analytical mind. Pure tones, nature sounds, or specific binaural audio in the theta range, which corresponds to the brainwave frequency of the hypnotic state. Consistency in your environment matters over time. When you return to the same space, the same conditions, the same preparation sequence repeatedly, your nervous system begins to associate those conditions with the hypnotic state. Entry becomes easier and faster. The preparation itself becomes a trigger for the state you are about to enter. Create the container. The quality of what happens inside it is directly shaped by how the outside was prepared. Step 3. Physical relaxation induction. The gateway between the conscious and subconscious mind runs through the body. This is one of the most consistently underappreciated insights in all of mind-body psychology. The analytical, critical, filtering function of the conscious mind is supported by a particular state of physical arousal. When the body is tense, alert, ready, the critical mind is active, evaluating, screening. When the body is deeply relaxed, genuinely, progressively, completely relaxed, the critical mind softens its grip. The filter relaxes with it, and the door to the subconscious opens. Physical relaxation induction is the deliberate, systematic release of tension from the body, from the feet upward through every muscle group, releasing each one consciously, completely, until the body is in a state of profound physical ease. This is not a quick process. Allow it the time it requires. Rushing the physical relaxation induction is like trying to open a door before the key has fully turned. Take 10 to 15 minutes if you need them. Work up from the feet, the toes, the arches, the heels, the calves, the knees. Notice the tension in each area. Breathe into it. Release it. Move upward. The thighs, the hips, the lower back, the abdomen, the chest, the shoulders, especially the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, the muscles around the eyes, the forehead. By the time you reach the top of your head, if you have done this carefully and completely, your body will feel heavier than usual, warmer, slightly distant from you in the way that happens in the moments before deep sleep. That feeling is the signal. The body has communicated to the brain that it is safe to soften. The door is beginning to open. Step 4. Deepening the trance. Physical relaxation brings you to the threshold. Deepening techniques take you through it. The hypnotic trance exists on a spectrum of depth. Light trance, the state of relaxed, receptive attention, is sufficient for most reprogramming work. Deeper trance states offer greater receptivity but are not required, particularly in the early stages of practice. What matters is that you move deliberately deeper than the ordinary waking state, past the threshold where the critical faculty maintains its full filtering function. The most reliable deepening technique is the countdown, from 10 down to 1, or from 20 down to 1 for those who enter trance more slowly, delivered internally in a slow, unhurried voice, with the suggestion accompanying each number that you are moving deeper, becoming more relaxed, more receptive, more open with every count. Between each number, allow a full breath.
Let the exhale carry you slightly further down with every cycle. Other deepening techniques include the mental image of descending, a staircase moving downward into a place of complete safety and warmth, each step taking you deeper, or a slow elevator, its floor numbers counting down, the sensation of gentle descent accompanying each one, or the image of a warm golden light moving from the top of your head downward, through your body, relaxing everything it touches as it travels. The specific technique matters less than the consistency of its application. Choose one, return to it every session. Over time, the deepening technique itself becomes a conditioned signal to the nervous system, a trigger that produces the trance state more rapidly and more completely with each use. You will know you have reached a sufficient depth when the body feels genuinely heavy and still, when sounds from outside seem slightly more distant than they actually are, when your thoughts move more slowly and with less urgency than usual, and when the ordinary chatter of the self-critical mind has quieted to something below a whisper. You are now in the room where the programming lives.
Step 5. Subconscious reprogramming. This is the heart of the work. This is the step where the new belief is delivered directly to the part of the mind that runs the patterns you are seeking to change. In the trance state, with the critical faculties softened and the subconscious receptive, you introduce your intention, the present tense, emotionally vivid statement of the new belief you wrote before the session, and you repeat it, not mechanically, with feeling, with the full sensory experience of what it would feel like to be the person for whom this belief is already true. This distinction is everything. The subconscious does not update through repetition of words alone. It updates through repetition of emotionally embodied experience. The words are the vehicle, the feeling is the fuel. So as you repeat your intention in the trance state, you simultaneously build the feeling. You allow your body to generate the physical sensation of already being the person who holds this belief. The warmth in the chest that accompanies genuine self-worth. The ease in the shoulders that comes with trusting yourself. The open, unhurried quality of breath that belongs to someone who knows their own value without needing external confirmation. Stay with the feeling as much as with the words. Let the words generate the feeling, and the feeling amplify the words until they are inseparable, until the subconscious receives not just a statement, but a complete, emotionally real experience of a new way of being. Repeat the core intention 7 to 10 times, slowly, with full feeling at each repetition. Then sit in the feeling without the words for a moment, just inhabiting the state the words have created, letting the subconscious absorb it without the interruption of more language. This moment of silent, inhabited feeling is where the deepest reprogramming occurs. Don't rush past it. Step 6. Future memory installation. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one in terms of the neural pathways it creates. This is one of the most extraordinary and most practically useful findings in all of neuroscience. Athletes have known this for decades. The mental rehearsal of a physical performance, visualized in complete sensory detail with full emotional engagement, produces measurable improvement in actual performance. Not because imagination is magic, because from the nervous system's perspective, a vividly imagined experience and a real one produce the same neural firing patterns. The same pathways are activated. The same connections are strengthened. You can use this to install what might be called a future memory, a complete sensory, emotionally real experience of yourself operating from the new belief in a specific future situation. In the trance state, after delivering your core intention, build a scene. A specific, detailed, real-world scenario in which the person you are becoming shows up fully. See it through your own eyes, not as an observer watching yourself, but as the person living it. Notice the environment around you in complete detail. Notice how your body feels in this scenario, the posture, the ease, the physical experience of being this person. Notice how you speak, how you move, how you respond to what's around you.
Notice the expressions of the people you interact with and how it feels to be received as the person you are becoming. Make it real. Make it specific. Make it emotionally full. Stay in it long enough that it begins to feel like memory rather than imagination. Your subconscious will file this experience alongside your actual memories, and the next time a real situation arises that resembles the scenario you built, the subconscious will have a reference point, a template, evidence, as far as it is concerned, that you have been this person before, that this way of being is known territory, that it is safe to go there again.
Step 7. Anchoring and emergence. The final step has two parts: anchoring the state you've created so it becomes accessible outside the session, and emerging from the trance with full, grounded, integrated awareness. Anchoring is the creation of a physical trigger, a gesture, a touch, a word that becomes associated with the feeling of the new belief through repeated pairing in the trance state. At the peak of the feeling you've built, when the emotion is fullest, the belief most real, the new identity most vivid, you apply the anchor. A gentle pressure of thumb and forefinger together, a hand placed on the heart, a single word spoken internally. Repeat the anchor 3 times at the peak of the feeling within the same session. Over multiple sessions, the association strengthens, and eventually applying the anchor in ordinary waking life, in the moment before difficult conversation, in the moment when the old pattern would have fired, calls back the feeling with real immediacy. The subconscious recognizes the signal, the state responds. Emergence is as important as induction. Do not rush it. Count slowly upward from 1 to 5, with the suggestion at each number that you are returning to full waking awareness, alert, refreshed, grounded, carrying with you everything that occurred in the session. At 5, take a full breath, open your eyes slowly, and sit for a moment before moving. Let the integration complete before you re-enter the pace of ordinary life. Drink water, move your body gently. The session is complete. The work has been done. Give it time to settle. Repetition over days and weeks is what produces lasting change. A single session plants a seed. Consistent practice grows it into something that cannot easily be uprooted. Most people begin to notice genuine shifts within 2 to 3 weeks of daily practice. Not because the sessions are working harder over time, because the subconscious responds to accumulated evidence. Each session adds another layer. Each repetition makes the new belief more familiar, more natural, more simply who you are. Now, let's use everything we've just covered. The guided session. Find your position now, seated or lying down, whichever allows you to be comfortable without falling asleep. Let your hands rest open in your lap or at your sides. Let your eyes close. Take one full breath in through the nose, hold it gently for a moment, and release it slowly through the mouth. Let that breath signal to your body that something is shifting, that the busyness of the day is being set aside, that this time belongs entirely to you and to the work you've come here to do. Take another breath, slower this time, deeper, into the lower belly, and release it fully, completely, without holding anything back. And again, each breath taking you a little further from the surface of ordinary thinking, each exhale releasing something that didn't need to come with you into this space. Now begin with the feet. Bring your attention there, not to move them, just to notice them. And as you exhale, allow any tension in the feet to release, the toes uncurling, the arches softening, the heels growing heavy against the surface beneath them. Move upward to the calves. The same process. Notice, breathe, release. Let the muscles go, not forced, just allowed to soften with the breath. The knees, the thighs. Each exhale carries a little more tension out of the body. The legs are growing heavy and warm. They feel as though they belong to the surface beneath you rather than to the effort of holding anything up. The hips, the lower back. If there is tightness here, and for most people there is, breathe directly into it. not to force the release, but to invite it, to let the breath communicate to the muscles that it is safe to let go, that nothing needs to be held here right now. The abdomen, let it be completely soft. No holding, no bracing, just the gentle rise and fall of breath moving through a body that is beginning to deeply, genuinely rest. The chest, the heart space. Let the chest open with each inhale and soften completely with each exhale. If there is emotion here, if something surfaces in this softening, that is welcome. That is the work beginning to happen. The shoulders. This is where most of us carry the most. Let them drop, not a little, but completely. Lower than feels natural, lower than you usually allow. Let them release toward the earth and stay there. The neck, the jaw. Unclench the jaw completely. Let the lips part very slightly. Let the tongue rest easy in the mouth. The muscles of the face releasing one by one. The cheeks, the muscles around the eyes. The forehead smoothing out into complete ease. Your body is now deeply relaxed. Every major muscle group has released. You are heavy and warm and still. And your mind, responding to this physical signal of safety, is beginning to soften its own holding. Now, we go deeper. I am going to count from 10 down to 1. With each number, you will move deeper into this state of open, receptive relaxation. Deeper than the body, into the part of you that runs below words. 10. Drifting down. The surface of ordinary thinking growing quieter. 9. Each number a step deeper. The analytical mind resting. Its work is not needed here. 8. Deeper still. The body more distant now, the awareness moving inward. 7. A sense of warmth spreading through you. Safety, openness, receptivity. 6. Halfway down. The deeper mind is awake and listening. It hears everything that comes next. 5. Moving through the threshold now. The critical voice that usually evaluates and questions is quiet. What passes this point goes directly in. 4. Deeper. The space where your patterns live, where your beliefs about yourself were first written. You are arriving there now. 3. Almost there. Your subconscious mind is fully open and fully receptive. Everything you offer it now, it will receive completely. 2. One more step. 1. You are here, fully present in the deepest available part of your own mind, the place where real change happens. In this place, I want you to allow a belief to form, not a wish, not a hope, a statement of present truth about who you are. Hear these words in the deepest part of yourself. I am enough. Exactly as I am, in this moment, I am enough. My worth is not something I need to earn. It is not conditional on my performance or anyone's approval. It is inherent. It is mine. It has always been mine. Let that settle. Let the words become feeling. Let the feeling become warmth in the chest, real, physical, present. The warmth of someone who has finally, truly heard something they needed to hear. I trust myself. My instincts are reliable. My perceptions are valid. My judgment, when I allow it to speak without interference, guides me accurately and well. I trust the person I am becoming. Feel the ease that comes with that trust. The ease in the shoulders, in the breath, in the way you inhabit your own body when you are not at war with yourself. I am allowed to have good things. I am allowed to let them last. The part of me that has been dismantling what is good, that part acted from an old belief that no longer serves me. That belief is releasing now. With each breath, it loosens its hold. It no longer runs this system. A new belief takes its place. Good things are safe. Staying is safe. I am safe to receive what is good and let it remain. Now build the scene. See yourself in a specific moment, a moment that has previously been difficult, a moment where the old pattern would have fired. See it in complete detail, the environment around you, the people present, the situation unfolding. And now see yourself in that moment as the person who holds these new beliefs. Feel how differently your body moves through this moment, the steadiness in you, the ease, the absence of the old bracing, the old self-undermining, the old quiet voice that said you didn't deserve to be here. You are here, fully here, operating from a foundation of genuine self-worth, responding from trust rather than fear, allowing the good thing to unfold without dismantling it. Stay in this scene. Let it become familiar. Let your subconscious file it as known territory, as something you have already done, as evidence of who you are now. Now bring your thumb and forefinger together gently. Hold that touch. Feel the fullness of this moment, the belief, the scene, the warmth in your chest, and let the touch carry all of it. Let the anchor absorb the feeling completely. Hold it. Let it deepen and release. Once more, thumb and forefinger together, the full feeling arising again at the touch, the belief real and present, the scene vivid and yours. Hold and release. This touch now carries what just happened. You can call it back whenever you need it. Now we return, slowly, gently, carrying everything that occurred here back with you into full waking awareness. 1. Beginning to rise, the body becoming more present, more immediate. 2. Awareness expanding, the room around you coming back into gentle focus. 3. The mind alert and clear, refreshed, something settled and quiet underneath the alertness. 4. Almost fully back. Take a full breath. Feel the solidity of the surface beneath you, the reality of this moment. 5. Eyes open, whenever you are ready. Take a moment before you move. Sit with what just happened. The work is done. Not loudly, not dramatically, but really. Come back to this, tomorrow, the day after, as many days as you can give it. Each session another layer, each repetition making the new belief more simply, more naturally, more permanently who you are. The subconscious mind that has been running your patterns without your conscious input for most of your life, you have just spoken to it directly, in its own language, with the full intention of someone who has decided that the old programming no longer serves them. It heard you. If this practice gave you something today, if you felt even the beginning of something shifting, share it with someone who has been stuck in patterns they cannot break through understanding alone. Like it if it reached you. Subscribe because this is only one tool you deserve to have access to. The mind that was written can be rewritten. You just began.